Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. I don't know what it is. I guess devil's working overtime today. This is the fourth time I've tried to film this. It's starting to get a little annoying, but we're gonna do it. This is Genesis chapter 41, King James Version. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kin, and fat-fleshed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kin came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kin upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kin did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kin. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept, and dreamed a second time, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled. And he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream. And there was none that could interpret them for Pharaoh. Then he spake to the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night. And I and he, we dreamed, each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there a man, a Hebrew, a servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted us our dreams. To each man according to his dream did he interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called for Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. He shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream and interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of a river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kin, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kin came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill-favored kin did eat up the first 7 fat kin, and when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored, as in the beginning. So I awoke, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good, and behold, 7 ears, withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that have come up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing that I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he showed unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice, it is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this. Let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. Let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the land of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities, and that food shall be store for the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, For much as God hath showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the 2nd chariot which he had. And they cried before him, Bow the knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And the 7 plenteous years of the earth brought forth by handfuls, and he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities, the food in the field which was round about every city, laid up in the same land. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asnath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteous that was in the land of Egypt were ended. And the 7 years of dearth began to come according to as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, and in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, that what he saith to you do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all the countries came unto Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that famine was so sore in all the lands. I'm sorry, I'm kind of exhausted. These are very long chapters, and I've read this particular one, the King James one, like 4 times right now. And as you can see, there's still stuff going on around here. That's just, I don't know. Not really sure what devil's trying to do here. Stop me from reading. Not really sure, but I got through it. And the commentary on this is pretty easy. I just really love this story so much. I love the fact that Joseph, even though everybody was trying to stop him from living a good life or have a fair chance, just in existence, there's just so much that was against him that was just so unfair and that he didn't deserve. And even though there was, even his own family, just so many things, even people he didn't know, were just so cruel to him, the dream that God originally gave him came true. And it's not even done yet, because there's still some more of Genesis to go here. And he's going to get blessed some more. This isn't the end of it. All his painful 20. It says he was 30 years old. So keep that in mind. He was 17 when he was taken. He's 30 now. So that's 13 years that he was dealing with all this. I'm sure that number has some significance. But I also noticed that when it came to the dreams, Joseph is just a dream interpreter. He's been able to interpret them ever since the dream that God had given him at 17 that everyone hated on. And even though they tried to throw him away or sell him or just get rid of him and go, let's see what makes of his dreams now. Well, God made his dreams come true, because he is now second in command of all of Egypt. Even more so that all the goods and the supplies that have been stored away for the 7 years of famine, Pharaoh doesn't know what to do with that. Joseph knows what to do. And Pharaoh sends everybody right to him. Go to him and do what he says. So really, low-key, it's like Joseph's really first in command here. Humbly so. He gets a wife, so he doesn't have to be with Potiphar's wife that he ran away from. He's got his own wife that God has given him, a wife of a priest. And I've said a lot of this stuff in the other reading, the Message version. But it's just very true. God was with him the whole time, and even though a lot of people were trying to bring him down and ruin his life, even kill him, throw him in jail, just so many things, forget about him, everything, God just didn't let that happen. God had a whole plan the whole entire time before anyone ever laid a hand on him. God knew that he was going to use him, for his glory, but also use him, to save people. It's just a very vital part of the story. So I'm a little exhausted because, as I said, I've read this a few good times now, trying to get it recorded. And as you can see, there's still stuff going on. But this is, in terms of the other recordings I made, this is the least amount of disturbance that I've had today trying to read this chapter. I can relate to Joseph so much, and I think really a good thing to take out of this in your own life is, If you're walking with God and things are hard, don't give up. Stay with God. Don't give up on him. It doesn't matter what, the enemy tries to do or use or whatever. It doesn't matter what you lose. And he lost his family, He lost his mom before that. He was sold and betrayed by his family. And then even the place that he worked as a slave, was trying to basically violate him, And because he wanted to do the right thing, he was punished and put in jail. And even then, when he was helping those people and saying, put in a good word for me, they forgot him. It was only until God helped, And I suppose I said this in the message video, but I think, God must have helped that cupbearer forget, because God wanted to keep him in there, in that prison, not for him to suffer, but to keep him in that prison for just this time, such a time as this, to interpret these dreams of Pharaoh. All of these dreams and interpretations, all of this stuff was almost like some sort of endurance training to get him to this point, to meet Pharaoh and do his thing, interpret this dream that was sent by God. And, once he'd done that, it was like instantly the suffering was over. The Pharaoh even took off his ring and put it on Joseph's hand, Like, Joseph was good after that. No one's going to hurt him or harm him or do him wrong ever again. The trial was over and the training was complete. And I think we should be looking at that in our own lives and at the things that we're doing. If we're following God, I don't mean for certain people that are just going through things and you're not looking to God. I'm talking about if you got God in your life and you're really trying to learn and get to know him and abide in his ways and walk the narrow path, carry your cross, all that and more. You're with God no matter what. Even if you stumble and fall, you get up and you go whole with your whole heart, all your strength, all your might, everything, to be with God and follow his ways. There's going to be some storms probably, especially in the beginning, I think, as you're learning, because the enemy's going to want to try to stop you from getting close to God or learning his ways and getting out of this world in the way that, someone who's living of the flesh would be. He wants you to stay in that, because as long as you're living in the flesh and you're not with God, you unfortunately, he's basically like with the fallen angels, that third that he took. He's going to take you with him, to where he's going, because he's already doomed to go. Him and his little buddies, his little angel buddies, they're already set to go. There's no redemption for them. But you have redemption. You can come out of whatever you're in. And if you've been lost this whole time and this is, you're just now getting to know God, this is the time, to start learning. It's not going to be easy. Life isn't going to be, hunky-dory and perfect because you're walking with God now. It's going to be, Satan's going to give you a hard time, for sure. He's going to try to stop that. So you got to endure that. You got to go push ahead and believe that God's going to get you out of whatever, trials you might face, because you're trying to have a relationship with God. He's going to help you. He's not going to leave you or forsake you or, let you get eaten up by the wolves. There's so many verses in this book that, God is always saying, don't worry, do not be afraid. He's just trying so hard to reassure us so many times, because life is hard here and he understands that. He lived it, in the body of Jesus Christ. But the point is that he's already won this war a long time ago. He won this war even in the beginning, Genesis 1, when we were reading it. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It was already won from the beginning of time. There's something very special about the human life that God just holds above everything in this world. He's made this world for us as a gift. And there's something very, very, very special about us that we just can't comprehend, because we got a lot of issues in this fallen world. But there's something so special about us that he created this world and he was willing to sacrifice himself to be this ultimate, lamb, this ultimate sacrifice in order to maybe make some kind of redemption, so that we don't just live in this world and are doomed to go where, the enemy is going. So, I don't know. Like I said, you can't really let the enemy stop you. He hates it when you're talking about God. And for some reason, I guess chapter 41 must be a really good one because it shows the rewards you get and the blessings that you get if you just hold on. And I've got a testimony coming. I keep saying that because I'm just so eager to tell you. I just have to wait until it's complete. But it has a lot to do with some of the stuff that I'm dealing with here. But God's already showing me that the time is coming very soon where this all will come to an end for me and my blessings, just like Joseph will be coming. And I'm looking forward to that time because I know it's just around the corner. It's any moment now. And I'll be free to tell you guys my own little story as a testimony. And I'm excited about that. Satan hates when you talk about God. He'll try to do everything possible to try to get you not to read his word or talk about him or share with others. He'll do everything he can, but there's nothing he can do if you want to seek God. In fact, stuff like this makes me want to go harder in seeking God. So I guess the lesson to this story is this. You might be going through some tough times because you're walking with God. You're not doing anything wrong if you're walking with God and you're doing your best and you're sticking with him. Just stay. Because this is the worst that Satan can do, is try to lead you astray or try to get you off that path or try to get you to turn away from God. That's the best that he can do. But all you have to do is resist that and he'll flee. It's a verse in the Bible too. Resist the devil and he shall flee from you. So just stay with God. He gonna be mad, okay? But there is nothing he can do. Because the war has been won. Even before, in the beginning, it was won. So just stick with the one who triumphed, the winner. And we know who that is. So I can't wait to tell you guys about the blessings that I'm about to receive. I'm already starting to receive some of them. And there's more to come. I want to tell you guys so bad. But for now, I'm just going to end this video with God bless you. And I just hope that this word and this message and my commentary has helped you in some way. Whatever stood out to you about this, please, say something if you want. Thumb up the video if you want. That would be great so that other people can find these reading a day, one chapter a day videos. I just want to add one more thing, though, that I noticed is Joseph said something about when something is repeated twice. It's a sign. It's from God. Let me just find it really fast. Yeah, got like these weird calls coming in and everything. It's just weird. Like there's so much just getting in the way of me reading this Bible to you today. I don't think Satan likes this very much, but it just shows me that I'm on the right track and that God is here with me and good things are coming, and he just hates that. He just hates that really good things are coming too. So he's really just trying to steal, kill, and destroy, but I'm not going to let him. And you guys take this as an example too. Don't let him, stick with God. It's going to be okay. Because the worst he can do, God can always replace it. God can always give you better or double for your trouble. Really, even 7 times as much too in some cases. So just hang on to God. I'm trying to find... Okay, so it says in verse 32, this is King James, Genesis chapter 41, verse 32. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. So he said the dream was doubled. It's because it was established by God and God's going to do it. Something about it being shown to him 2 times. So that's an interesting thing maybe to apply to your own life in some ways. Maybe you having a repeated dream. It's worth paying attention to. Dreams aren't as empty as you might think. They're not. So they usually have some kind of meaning, even if you get them once, but definitely very vivid or repeated dreams. I think that it's a sign you should pay attention a little bit. Maybe whatever it's trying to tell you. Pray to God that he'll tell you what it means, help you interpret it like Joseph. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go today. Just please, like, do as Joseph is doing. Some of you guys out there walking with God and you think God's not with you because things are going wrong and everything's just falling apart, but it's just so that God can rebuild. He's training you up, and he's going to build beautiful things if you just hold on. He's going to bless you so well. So don't let it go, and don't think that, you're not on the right track. You are. You got to be doing something right if you're following God and things look like they're falling apart. You're on the precipice of a lot of really great things happening if you just remain in Him and doing what you're supposed to be doing in Him. So I hope you guys have a really good day. It's really beautiful outside. I've been out there a couple times today, and I am pooped. It's literally like midday, maybe a little past midday, going into the evening at this point. But I appreciate you guys being really patient. I know today was a little messy. There's just been some weird spiritual challenges apparently, and we're just not going to let that bring us down. We're going to accomplish the goal anyway, sharing His word and talking about God and encouraging each other. So I just really hope that it did that today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow in chapter 42 to find out what happens next with Joseph, because his blessings aren't over. All that he went through. When I say that if Satan's giving you a really hard time, it means that there's some greatness coming your way. So don't let it get away from you. Hold on tight to God. Hold on tight to what's coming. No matter what, Let Satan try his best and look like an idiot in the end, because we already know what's going to happen to him. Well, some of us do. And it's not going to be good, guys. So don't let him drag you down into that too. Let him go on his own. And let him drag those who, I guess, comply with him. Let him drag them down if they don't, if they don't unharden their hearts. It's all up to you. Everything's a choice. And you can choose to stick with God. Okay? And you can. And I believe in you. You will love Him with all your heart and all your soul and mind and strength. You can do it. Hang on, because God's not going to let none of this stuff be in vain. Okay? So, bye guys. I love you. God bless you, and shalom.